There is so much negativity about the UK at the moment. The number of natives that just say this is the worst country in the world.
Thank you.
안녕하세요. Hello.
From South Africa.
반가워요. The number of natives that say the UK is literally the worst country in the world is insane. And I'm just trying to push back against some of that negativity because it really is so much better than people say. And in this video, I'm basically going to be telling you why that is and giving you some reasons as to why you should come to the UK, because it genuinely is still an incredible country. So firstly, I just wanted to talk a bit about these people who hate on the UK, because it's mainly British people, right? So I feel like no other nationality hates on the UK anywhere near as much as native British people do. And to me, it feels like they're slightly ungrateful for it all. And the type of person I'm thinking of tends to be quite young, maybe about my age, in their 20s, and they move to Bali or Thailand, nothing against those countries, but that's just where they go. And they spend the rest of their days there telling you, basically just chatting shit about the UK and telling you how bad it is there, despite the fact they don't even live there anymore. It's almost like they're smug about it, or they're trying to convince everyone else that it's a terrible country and they did the right thing by leaving. And then they try to convince you to join their $997 financial freedom course so you can live like them in Bali and on the UK on a beach instead. And I just, before we get into the reasons, I just think this is ridiculous. By the way, at the end of this video, I will be telling you, if you are looking to come to the UK, the best way of doing that as well. Probably should have said that at the start. Anyway, I just think that's so ridiculous, because one of the main reasons that they give as to why the UK is rubbish and why other countries are better is they say, oh yeah, Thailand, oh, it's just like you get so much more for your money and the cost of living is so much better. And it's like, do you fail to realize that the reason why it's cheap is because you are British, it's because you're from the UK. It's all relative, isn't it? Thai people, to them, it's not cheap or expensive, it's just the price is the price. Okay, if anything, the tourists are making it more expensive. And I do understand the irony of me filming this video in Korea, but we'll get onto that later. I'm not here moaning about the UK, I'm actually saying it's a good place. It's my excuse anyway. Anyway, the reason why these places are cheap is because they're from the UK, so they have this currency. They were just born with that, they didn't do anything. So it's just ridiculous them saying, oh, Britain is so bad, oh, it's a terrible, terrible country, when the whole reason that the new place they're going to is cheap is because they're from there. Do you know what I mean? And another thing is, they always say, oh, it's just so easy to travel, it's so easy to travel. But I think, once again, they take the fact that they were born in an English-speaking country for granted. Okay, the reason why it's easy to travel is because the world's language, for better or for worse, obviously it's good for me because I'm an English teacher, is English. So when they go to these countries, they don't need to learn Thai, do they? They can just speak English. And once again, the reason why they are fluent in English without having to do anything is because they were born in the UK. So the reason why they find all these other countries so much better than the UK is because they're British. It's so ironic that they didn't realize that. Anyway, that's a couple of the reasons as to why I think it's wrong that listen, it's not a perfect country, I'm not saying that, there are definitely flaws and some questionable decisions made, but I just think that in general, a lot of British people take it for granted. Okay, anyway, let me give you my reasons as to why I think the UK is still a very good country. So firstly, this is a random one, but I've written some of these down because I don't want to forget any. First one is random, and it's to do with the air quality and the nature as well. The British air is so crisp and clean, and it's when you go to other countries and the air in some countries feels slightly almost thick and quite humid as well. The UK is not a humid country whatsoever. So when you experience this British air, when you go away and you don't have it, when you come back, it's so nice, you really notice it. And that ties in with the other thing I wanted to talk about, which is the nature. The nature in the UK is incredible. It's so green and luscious. We have parks absolutely everywhere, and they're genuinely nice parks. You know, when you go to cities sometimes and they have like these parks in the center, but they're slightly depressing. Okay, the grass isn't green, it's this very artificial color, or it's just like dying, like dirty grass. In the UK, it is so luscious. So if you get the opportunity to walk around a park on a sunny day in the UK, then it's just such a pleasant experience, and we have that everywhere. The only problem is the weather is quite bad. Okay, so that is one limiting factor, but still, you have to take that into consideration. The second one is also quite random, and it's the time zone. The British time zone is perfect. It's pretty much smack bang in the middle of the American time zone and the Asian time zone. It's genuinely perfect, and that's really useful for you guys, because I'm guessing that if you're watching this, you're probably from another country, right? If you're European, then you will be slightly used to that. But for everyone else, that's going to be convenient when you need to speak to your friends or your family back home. And it's also very good for business as well. You're perfectly connected with the world. Right, so there's a lot of people there. Let's go this way anyway, okay. Right, so next one, the manners. The manners. The manners in the UK. They're very good. So, of course, there are rude people everywhere. I'm sorry if you've been to the UK and had an experience with a rude person. It's going to be like that everywhere. There are some rude people. But in general, the manners are just really, really good. Everyone says please, thank you, sorry, excuse me all the time. Whether they actually mean that is one thing, but it doesn't really matter. It's still the same effect. And with queuing as well, we tend to be extremely respectful. Just the British personality, I think, is quite respectful in general for most people. It's very modest, and they don't want to ever make anyone feel uncomfortable. It's very similar to the Japanese culture in that regard, I would say. So yeah, that's something I do appreciate about the country as well. The humor is so good. The humor is so good. It's very subtle and dry and a bit silly and weird and oddly comforting, but it's unlike any other style of humor in any other country. And we have some brilliant TV shows and films. I'm not really huge on watching TV shows and films. It's just, I don't really tend to do that for some reason, but I mainly watch YouTube. But there are some really good ones. I'd suggest Peep Show is probably my favorite. And we also have The In-Betweeners, which is really funny, slightly, vulgar, but it's fine. I'm sure you can take it. And those are the only ones I can think of. The UK Office as well. Check that out. And just meeting British people, a lot of them tend to be quite funny. It's very, we'll talk about it a bit later on. And the fifth one kind of ties in with this. It ties in with the modesty and slightly the humor, because I think this is really funny. And it's these understated expressions we have. And if something's understated, it means that we pretend it isn't as severe or isn't as much of a big deal as it actually is. So for example, I've written some down. Not bad at all. So you might be thinking, what does that mean? Well, we say not bad at all when something's actually really good. So we don't say, oh yeah, it's really good, it's amazing. No, we just say, oh, it's not bad, or not bad at all. That's the extent of the praise we give to something. So if a British person says that, they're actually saying it's really, really good. Another country might be like, oh man, it's absolutely awesome. It's brilliant, we're still lucky. Whereas a British person might be like, yeah, not bad at all. And that's a huge compliment, trust me. We also have on the other side, it's not ideal. And that could mean that something awful has happened. And we might say, yeah, it's not ideal. Like someone can get a severe illness and they're told that they have to have all of these complicated surgeries, that they're going to miss this number of weeks of work. And it's going to be, well, actually, we have free healthcare in the UK. I forgot to mention that. That's another good thing. Free healthcare, yeah. Hello. No, I'm good, thank you. What was I saying? Free healthcare. Oh yeah, someone could get a terrible diagnosis and they would say something such as, oh, it's not ideal, but, and once again, we're downplaying it so much, and it's very modest, and I think it's very cute. Another example, I wouldn't say no to something. So if you really wanted, say, a drink or a beer, you might say, oh yeah, I wouldn't say no to a beer right now, which means that you really want one. So I just think it's very modest and quite sweet. And also I've had better days, which means that you've had an awful day, you say, oh, I've had better days. So you get the point now. I really like that. I think it's a nice detail. Right, next up we have the food. Now, I know that the British food gets a lot of stick, and I understand it, but I think the main problem is that British food is it's not very photogenic. So if you see a photo of like bangers and mash, or fish and chips, or I can't really think of many more British foods at the moment. Like black pudding, a full English. It doesn't look that appetizing. But when you try it, it's so nice. I've never actually met anyone who has said that British food is rubbish after trying it. They will say, oh yeah, it's actually really nice. And if you don't like British food, honestly, it doesn't really matter, because there are in the UK, you can get any style of food. If you're in any sort of city or even a small town, they are guaranteed to have multiple Italian restaurants, they'll have some French restaurants, some tapas, Spanish restaurants, they'll have a Thai restaurant, they'll have some other Asian restaurants. You can get anything you want, and also loads of like Western burgers and stuff like that. They have the usual chains, Subway, Burger King. So there are so many options. Okay, you're not going to be forced to eat eel pie every single day. And no one really eats this, by the way. I haven't met anyone who eats this. So the food is surprisingly good. And number 7, I can't read my own handwriting. Oh yes, it's extremely multicultural. There are so many different nationalities in the UK. So many people come and visit and live there. And I think that's nice. I think in a city, that's why, if a city like Bristol, for example, one of the reasons why it's such a good place, I will talk a bit later on about some places I'd recommend going to as well. But Bristol, one of the reasons it's so interesting is because there are so many cultures there. There are 2 universities. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to work out the camera. There are 2 universities there, people from all over the world, and it just has this influence on the UK. And for you, that's going to help you feel a bit more comfortable as well if you come here. And the last reason that I've written down is the history. The UK has been around, England's been around for so long. I'm English, I'm kind of referring to just England when I say the UK. I know I shouldn't do that, but yeah. That guy's got a Man City top on. Anyway, it's an extremely historical place, and you might be thinking, oh, why does that actually matter? Well, it's just cool. It's cool. So if you like graduate university, then during the ceremony, you're going to have all of these really cool traditions. You're going to have people coming in all these different gowns and doing these rituals. We have so many old, beautiful, historical buildings from all of these years ago. And I'm not really that into history, to be perfectly honest with you, but I still think it's nice. I like it a lot. Anyway, if you are looking for some recommendations on places to visit, I'd recommend London, 100%. It is expensive, just going to warn you. And I haven't covered any of the negatives here. There are negatives, of course. I'm just focusing on the positives here. All right, I'm not being biased. So yeah, definitely London, you need to experience that. It's a big city, but it's really cool. It's very special. Bristol, as mentioned, Oxford, which is a very beautiful city right next to London. It's so green and nice. Bath as well, and not just in the south. I'm southern, so I don't want to say that there are no nice cities in the north. It's just, for me, I've mainly visited the ones in the south. I did live near Manchester for quite a few years, and Manchester's a cool place. I like it there a lot. People are very nice. And also the Lake District, there's so much incredible nature. Scotland is probably the most beautiful place I've ever been to in my life. I'm being deadly serious. The problem with Scotland is the weather is bad. The weather is bad. In the UK, the weather does tend to be, I had a comment the other day saying the camera's too close to my face. I apologize for that. But it's kind of hard I need to buy a new camera really. Anyway, the UK, the weather does tend to be quite bad, but in Scotland in particular, it's always raining, which is such a shame, because in terms of nature and how green it is and how few people there are there, it's probably one of the most beautiful places that I've ever been to in my entire life. Yeah, so those are a few suggestions for you. Now, as promised, I'm going to tell you about, if you're convinced and you want to come to the UK, then you're going to need to, I understand that it might be a bit daunting, because there are a lot of very important cultural nuances in the UK. You can't say this, you can say that. And also, I know that speaking, listening, accent, all these things can be quite tricky as well. So for this, I have 2 solutions. Okay, so firstly, I have an online course. It's not like the courses I was talking about earlier. No, it's everything you need to know about coming to the UK and achieving fluency. There are over 210 lessons. It took me a year to make, interactive exercises, all these PDFs and stuff like that. It's a serious course, and there's a money-back guarantee. I promise if you take this, you will know everything you need to know about being a native British speaker. That's a fact, and if not, I'll just give you your money back. And if you'd like some live practice, I do also have a private community where we have 7 live calls every week. You can practice speaking with me. And we also have accent lessons. We have an actual modern RP British accent specialist as well. And it's just a really fun place. We have daily posts and messages. So if you prefer live support, the community, if you want to learn everything self-paced, the course is perfect for you. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And all of the links are in the top comment. But yeah, guys, those are the ways in which I can help you. And those are the reasons why I think that the UK is genuinely a pretty amazing country. There are flaws, as I say, but I feel like in general, it's still definitely worth visiting here. Yeah. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. And if you did, I'd probably recommend watching this video right here. It's very similar. So check out those links if you'd like to learn with me even further. And I'll see you guys again very soon for another video. All right, adios.